YouTube. Once again, guys, thank you for following my channel. If you're new to my channel and you're looking for offensive, defensive tips and gameplay tips, make sure you hit the subscribe button, also the notification icon. So, guys, this is going to be live gameplay once again, doing regs. I just don't have time to do nuts. Haven't really jumped into Draft Champion, so I'm just using regs as I'm doing schemes for my patrons. This is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs as my primary offense. Also on defense, I'm jumping out of the Chicago Bears defensive playbook and be using basically the Patriots playbook on defense. And the reason why is I wanted to be able to go ahead and throw in a 43 in my scheme. I want to talk about, in particular, how to win more games and win more games with basically clock management. What this game, the reason why I was able to go ahead and you know, I guess pull off a win against this opponent is because I really understood how to stop this, how to manage the clock to win this game. So I'm going to go over 3 really important points when you are playing against someone that is a very effective person on offense, and make sure you put yourself in a situation where you actually can win more games by managing the clock successfully. So I got my opponent in a 3rd and 10 situation. I dial up just a basic man blitz. He hits a nice little in route with his slot receiver to go ahead and convert it. So right now I think he's 3 for 3, but notice that he's actually using Dalton as his quarterback over another quarterback, which would be the quarterback for the Cowboys. I can't think of his name right now, and I know you guys are going to yell at me for not knowing that. But right here, 2nd and 3 situation, he does a little Ohio concept, hits the out. So this guy's just dinking and dunking me, down, running the ball. Right here, he's got a wing set, making some type of adjustments right here. He actually throws a quick little out once again, and actually gets that. I actually had a flat out there, but the flat didn't come down. I probably should have went with a hard flat. So he goes back into a strong formation right here and basically does a nice little inside run. Actually gets a good cut on with his running back and actually gets the ball for 1st down. So 1st and goal situation, basically I'm jumping into a run defense. I showed this to you guys earlier, but basically this is a run defense to try to stop those outside runs. Same setup once again. He goes back to the outside stretch, but the stretch is basically bottled up. He's falling forward for yards, but doing very well. Look at the clock right now. He has basically burned off almost 6 minutes off the clock. I switch up my defense and with the anticipation he's going to pass, but he settles for the stretch run and he actually gets it in. But this guy burned 6 minutes off the clock against me, against his first drive of the game. So this guy's a clocker. So he's a guy that really, you know, basically he's a big clock management type of person. So if you're getting ball in the 2nd half and you played against someone that really, they just a long drive, took a long time to get the ball down into the end zone, he basically burned the entire quarter, you have to do the same thing to him. So it is important that you milk the clock. Do not give the ball back to your opponent in the 1st half. You want to be able to go up on 2 possessions. So even if you get the ball down to the red zone and don't punch it in, just chew up as much clock as possible. So look, I'm 30 yards out, and basically there's 2 minutes left in this type of situation, so I'm chewing the clock against him as much as possible. So I'm committing to underneath patterns, running the ball, making sure that I'm just keep chewing the clock down. So you can see I basically chewed the clock down completely in that type of situation. Go with basically the pop route. I get nice inside leverage right there. When I look at the gameplay, the tape, I probably should have done that. I know huddle right now, and to see how I'm burning the clock down as much as possible, I don't want to give him any time. If I have to settle for 3 points, that's fine. I'm getting the ball in the 2nd half, but I don't want to give this guy any kind of life. So see right there, basically I'm getting the ball down. I'm actually working clock, 25 seconds in this type of situation. I actually go ahead and throw the ball underneath, get the ball down to the 1 yard line, and I'm just working the clock down as much as possible and trying to basically go ahead and chew up the clock as much as possible. So no huddle, do an inside zone run right there, and I'm able to go ahead and punch the ball in, basically not giving him any time whatsoever. And I'm going back in the 2nd half, and now I'm getting the ball back in the 2nd half. So score's tied. what do you do when you're dealing with a clock management person or someone who likes to clock the ball? And if you get the ball in the second half, you need to score as quickly as possible. So this guy's been showing a lot of cover 3 to me. He actually does a run commit because I'm running the ball, and I get a lucky animation. But I did have a cover 3 setup, so I was actually going to try to hit him with a big bomb play, and I scored quickly. So this worked out perfectly for me. I got myself a fast score in the second half, going up by 2 possessions, and now I'm going to put the ball back in his court and hopefully go ahead and force him to methodically move the ball down the field. So it's when you deal with these clock management people, these people like to run the ball a lot, they're going to methodically move the ball down the field. They generally don't take big shots down the field. They don't try to set up the big money plays. So I got him in 3rd and 9 situations. If I can go ahead and stop him right here, he's going to be really pretty much toast. He actually takes a shot over the middle to the tight end. I pull my guy out of the position and put him back in. And right here, I'm actually trying to set up a special defense, a defense I don't typically run, and I'm not used to this formation because I just switched into basically a Patriots playbook, and I actually take my guy off the wrong guy. He makes the perfect read and hits the tight end right over the middle. I didn't actually take that away, and he's off to the races. So nice little, he has a stretch play that actually he cuts back up, gets 7 yards on that. Look, 3 minutes, a third quarter right now. He's already basically 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Inside zone, clocking the ball. Now I jump into basically a nickel package, which is a 3-3-5 wide. Seeing if I can stop that. Right here, basically he throws a perfect dot. He saw my defense, what I was doing. I was actually taking my safety down and actually dropping back my linebacker, and he actually dotted me up with a perfect play. So he basically diagnosed what type of defense I was doing, and he made a really good adjustment, really good read. So I'm getting ball back in the second half situation. It's just going into the fourth quarter right now, and for me, the most important thing for me right now is basically trying to make sure that I don't give the ball back to him. So in this type of situation, I want to go and try to milk the clock as much as possible. But you see right here, 4th and 6 in my territory. The smart play is to go for it because, okay, the reason why I'm going for it in this type of situation is that this guy's a clocker, so he's going to try to burn as much clock as possible. If I was to punt the ball to him on the other side of the field, he could clock me all the way back, burn as much clock as possible, get in the field goal range, and basically win the game. So if I actually, on my territory, go for it, and even though I converted in this type of situation, if I did not get it, he had basically a couple of first downs. He might have been able to burn off just a few minutes off the clock opposed to a lot of minutes, the entire game. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to go for it in your own territory if you're playing an opponent that likes to clock the ball like this guy. So that's why I went for it in that type of situation. It was a smart decision to do that because he essentially was going to go ahead and clock the ball and actually get a field goal. So going for it, it was a win-win situation for me to go for it in that 4th down in my own territory. So this guy did not have necessarily the best type of run defense. He kept letting me run up the middle. And right now, I'm actually in the clock position. I'm in field goal range, so what I'm going to try to do is just force this guy to start burning his timeouts to try to preserve as much clock as possible for himself. So I'm just doing inside zones against this defense. This guy didn't really have any kind of defense, but look, I'm just chewing the clock down as much as possible, trying to get him to burn his timeouts. He burns his last time right here, but his clock management is off because if you look at it, 2nd and 8 type of situation, he can burn another timeout right here, but he's not going to be able to stop me. So I'm just going to go ahead and just keep doing inside zones out of these 11 personnel type situations. And with 6 seconds left on the clock, I'm able to go ahead and get the ball down into a couple yards out and kick a field goal to go up on a score. So if you deal with someone that clocks the ball, first and foremost, if you get the ball to them, they take up a full quarter, it's imperative that you do not give the ball back to them in the first half. And when you get the ball back in the second half, score as quickly as possible. So use your no huddle plays and try to score as quickly as possible, because if they come back and score against you, you want to make sure that you have the ball last. It's most important is having the ball last, especially in a tie game type of situation, and don't let your opponent go ahead and beat you. So I hope you guys learned from this clock management gameplay. If you guys have methods on how you deal with clockers, please let me know. So once again, thank you for your support. Until next time.